It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell
I
you
charge
all about it.
that he, the said Charles Stuart, being admitted King of England, and therein trusted with a limited power to govern by and according to the laws of the land, and not otherwise, yet, nevertheless, he has conceived a wicked design to erect and uphold in himself an unlimited and tyrannical power, to rule according to his will, and overthrow the rights and liberties of his people. On behalf of the people of England, I therefore impeach the said Charles Stuart as a tyrant, traitor, murderer, and a public and implacable enemy to the Commonwealth of England.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be
British
broken.
leaders
The love will
raced to
never get
Downing
lost.
Street this morning, summoned to an emergency meeting with Prime Minister David Cameron. He described as pure evil
Sorting donations to food banks, checking them to ensure they're in date before they can be offered to clients. The operation's on a big scale. This warehouse serves half of Edinburgh. Its scale is a measure of the increasing demand. Scotland's largest provider of food banks, the Trussell Trust, says last month it served 10,500 people. The previous December it was 9,200. That's a rise of 11.5% year on year. The charity says while benefit changes have caused problems, so have low wages.
More and more we're finding it's people that are actually having a job or have benefits or have an income, but they just don't have enough because of rising costs. You know, increase in energy prices, increase in food year on year, wages aren't increasing, so even if you are earning a wage, you're just struggling to make ends meet.
So if I put some of the lighter stuff in this one, the headline in red.
Food banks rely upon volunteers like Don Stubbings. Hearing the stories of people they're helping has convinced him this sort of aid doesn't tackle the fundamental problem.
Helping anybody in real hardship is a very good thing, but it doesn't actually deal with the root issue that the way the benefit system works causes people to be in this situation. And what we actually need is for the benefit system to change and not be the way it's been since April last year.
The Scottish Government said what's needed is a living wage across the country and a benefit system keeping people out of poverty. The UK Government says it's spending £94 billion a year providing a safety net for people who are unemployed or on low incomes. Reeve Alderson reporting, Scotland.
David Cameron, do you know how many food banks there were in this country when you came to power?
I don't have the exact figures, but I know that usage of food banks has gone up, and there are many amazing volunteers who man those food banks and provide an important service.
There were 66 when you came to power. There are now 421. 900,000 people took food parcels last year, free food parcels. You talked about broken Britain and fixing it. You haven't. It's more broken now than it was.
Well, I don't accept that, because if you look at what's happened with our economy, there are 1.89 million more people in work than when I became Prime Minister. We've got 900,000 fewer people on out-of-work benefits.
Is an increase in food banks a mark of success?
Look, obviously there has been an increase in food bank use. That's partly because of the difficulties we faced as a country. It's also, Jeremy, because we changed the rules. The previous government didn't allow job centres to advertise the existence of food banks. They thought it would be bad PR. I thought that was a wrong decision. I thought it was a poor decision. So we allowed them to point people towards food banks if they needed them. But look, the big picture is we want to get more people back to work. We've turned the economy around, and it's jobs that are the best route out of poverty.
Is it acceptable in a rich country like ours that there are that number of people depending on free food aid?
Well, obviously, I want fewer people to be using food banks, and I want more people to have the security of a job. But we have created 1,000 jobs for every day this government's been in.
I went to Eton, paid a lot for knowledge. I joined the Bullingdon at Brasenose College, that's where I caught his eye. He told me that his dad was loaded. I said, mine too, we should run this country. He said, yeah. And then in 30 seconds time, I realized I'll need the votes of common people. I must pretend to do the things that common people do. Then I'll shit on the common people. And then I'll shit on common people like you. What else would I do? I'm a Tory, and that's what we do. So I became MP for Whitney. It was an easy seat, I had to start it somewhere. So I started there. I met some people who had no money. I laughed and laughed and said, ha, that's so funny. Gideon said, yeah. Couldn't see any of them laughing though. But I'll need the votes of these common people. So there's some things these common people mustn't see. I'll hide my party from the common people. 'Cause if they see them, they'll never vote for me. I can hug these hoodies and ride my bike. But there's some things the pros won't like. Gideon on a rich Russian's yacht. Backbenchers who still like shooting fox. Homophobia, Ashcroft's lies. Boris talking old school ties. Then what I'm in with set for life. Cut public spending overnight. Sack of healthcare, cut some jobs. Support the rich guys and fuck the odds. I'll have the votes of the common people. Turn my back and do whatever I want to do. I'll turn my back on these common people. I'll turn my back on common people like you. And then Gideon and I will go for drinky poos. Because we're Tory and that's what we do.